3-0.
Tottenham till I die. Tottenham till I die. Spurs diehards. Tottenham till I die. Tottenham till I die. Spurs diehards. Tottenham till I die. Tottenham till I die. Spurs diehards. Tottenham till I die. Tottenham till I die. Tottenham till I die. Spurs diehards. Tottenham till I die. Tottenham till I die. Spurs diehards. Tottenham till I die.
Hello and welcome to the regular Tuesday edition of Spurs Diehards TTID. Tonight I've got a good panel for you. We've got two returning very good friends of the show, Peter Gaggis in Australia and Brad Matthews. I've got my fellow co-host with me, Ian, as well. Ian will look after the chat. Right, so yeah, start with, go on, Milton. He's in Oz as well. Well, we need to get you on, Milton, with Peter and David Shear at some time, you know. So yeah, yeah. So I'm actually going to start with Ian first because I won't give him a difficult question. Right. So we'll start. Ian, 5 days until transfer window closes. Where are the signings, mate? Where are they?
Can you give me a minute? Speak to someone else. I need to get my audio sorted.
Okay.
Just give me a minute. Let me get my audio sorted.
Brad, what's happening? Where's our signings?
Nothing. Nothing's happening, is it? It's been a complete shambles. I mean, it started also promising, didn't it? We signed Kudos. We signed Morgan Gibbs White, and then we were interested in Adam Morton. And we're going to pay lots of money. And then suddenly the Morgan Gibbs White thing fell through. We wasted 2 weeks on that, and didn't look for a replacement. And then Maddison gets himself injured. We wasted 2 weeks trying to find Ezzy. Arsenal come in, do it in 3 hours. It's just a complete waste of time, really. I'm just fed up with the whole thing, just bored with it. Suddenly, Robinho, suddenly that's off now, isn't it? I haven't heard anything about that yet lately.
I'll come on to a few of the transfers. Too many.
Rabiot again. You know, I mean, how many times have we been in for this guy? You know, it's Adrian Rabiot, whatever his name is. It's just a waste. It's a total waste of time. I just think that our current owners or whoever do this negotiations, they're just time wasters. Effectively, they're just incompetent. You know, it's always the same story. Oh no, you haven't. You know, we don't value them that much. We'll give you a little bit less. You know, and eventually we end up paying what they asked for in the first place anyway. So it's just a complete waste of time.
Peter, it started well, didn't it? I mean, we got Kudos in. I don't know what's the matter with my throat. We got Kudos in. We got Paulina in. Romero signs a 4-year deal. Danso signed up. And Spence signs a new contract. But it doesn't feel like a good window, does it? Because everyone's deflated now because we've got more holes to fill.
Well, I've said it so many times, and I keep saying it. The wages. That's where I think it is. Some of these players that we're linked with, I just think that the wages that they wanted is too much for Levy, and that's why they've gone haywire. I know Polina's on a big bucks, but then he's only alone, isn't he? So they haven't had to pay anything for him. Kudos, I don't know what Kudos is. What would Kudos be on? Would he be on 140, 150?
About that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'd be on more what he was probably on at West Ham. I think that's the problem is that if we buy players from teams like Palace or West Ham, we're probably going to offer them more money. But the real star players we want, we can't because they know they can go elsewhere and get better money. So
exactly right. So at the end of the day, it's all about the dollar, isn't it? Or the pound,
or the euro.
yeah.
Ian, what is concerning is like here we've got 7 homegrown, so we haven't got the 8th homegrown player. Right.
Mhm.
Oh, actually, I'm wrong here because I've left out Madison. So we have got 8. My
He was.
minor actually. Right. So even though he's injured. But when we look at the non-homegrown, there's 17 here, but the last 3 are left. Basuma, Solomon Gill. Basuma's rumoured to be going off. Solomon Gill, we know they're surplus to requirements. We've got this squad's low in numbers. If those 3 go, you've got 14 plus 8, 22, and like we're 3 short.
Yeah, it's low in numbers, and it's lower. Let's be real. It's lower in quality and depth we would like. Let's not delude ourselves. We still have a lot of very good players. I don't agree with Peter that it's about weight, because there hasn't been any of the evidence about the players that we've been looking at, supposedly are turning us on grounds of wages. Not one. The Gibbs White situation was all about Marinakis and his playing games. And I mean, I think most people watching would have seen that banner that the Palace unfurled, which, amongst other things, showed Marinakis with a gun against Morgan Gibbs White's head. And I think there was some stuff going on there that were probably not very ethical. As I think played us, and he played us like fools. And I think I'm starting to get a very different perspective now on that it's not just about penny pinching. I actually think he's quite naive in the way he goes about his negotiations. Now, I'm going to talk too long about this, but the more I look at the Palace deal, when you look at, we took John Bostock off them, who was meant to be the next big thing, generational talent and what have you, and they weren't happy with us about that. He turned out to be a duck, but when we bought him, they didn't know that. There was a situation, if people remember, with William Zaha, Wilfred Zaha. He was hell of a lot of noise coming from somebody, so I don't know. Got it. Maybe put yourselves on mute or something. There's rattling in my ears here. With Zaha, Peter. Yeah, that's better. I've just put Peter on mute. Can put him back when he's talking. It's hard to talk over that, Peter. Sorry. That there was a transfer window a few years back where he went to Tottenham's ground, and Levy then phoned Simon Jordan and said, "Dada, I want to sign. Wilfred Zaha." He says, "Well, there's not time. You know, you can't even get him to do a medical." "Yeah, I can. He's just around the corner." And Jordan told him to F off, and the deal never happened. And these are all things where you lose goodwill in any negotiating situation where you've got people that you might need to negotiate with again. You need to leave an element of goodwill. And I don't think Levy leaves any goodwill in a negotiation. And therefore, I think if a club like Crystal Palace have a chance to screw over Tottenham, they're more than happy to take it. Forest, I just think it was unfortunate, although it was Oscar Wilde's quote about losing children. one might be unfortunate, but two looks like carelessness, and they say about losing government ministers as well. And I think this is the same about losing signings. This window with the players we are linked with, and this Rabiot thing, I just hope it's crap, because let's be honest, 90% of the stuff we've heard is crap. You know, there's talk that El Khanous is now heading to West Ham, and if he goes there, does that mean Paqueta leaves? Because if they get Paqueta will they get 40 million for Paqueta and 20 million for El Khanous? That's 20 million profit. That would be a good signing for us. There's talk that Chelsea are still in for Garnacho and Simmons. They're also in for the boy at Barcelona, whose name's I've temporarily forgotten, but they can't sign all three. So maybe that would leave an opportunity for Simmons. The Silvinho thing, I don't think has gone away, albeit I've heard it's dead. These things can have a knack of resurrecting themselves. So I'm not going to say it's lost, and I'm going to do a show at 5 o'clock on starting at 5 o'clock on Monday afternoon, British summer time, and we'll take it through to the end. I'll probably have a lot of people.
And for those of the 75 of you viewing us on platforms, that Monday afternoon, the transfer window closes at 7 p.m. that day, 1900 UK. That's why Ian's doing the show 2 hours before the window closes. Yeah.
And we'll take it on for a bit after that. We'll know, and we'll analyse what we've done. I'm not going to say it's awful, because it's not closed. But once again, we found it's a window that did its promise so much at the beginning. Once again, we're all the Johnny-come-latelys. Are we going to have to feed off scraps? Are we going to end up overpaying like Musa Sissoko on the last day of the season? 30 million Newcastle condas out of, for that dumpling of a player. I don't know. I'm not going to say it's dead. Maybe Villa do need to sell, and maybe we can go in for Morgan Rogers at the. It's got the name right now, Morgan Rogers at the the last day. You don't know. Some rabbit may appear out the hat. We've done it before, but. This stinks of a lack of preparedness. It stinks of a lack of planning, and it stinks of a lack of a coherent strategy, and that's what's annoying me.
And I think the thing that annoys me about it as well is the fact that we've had a good start to the season. I think we look a lot more settled under Thomas Frank. We're much more stable when we're playing teams like Manchester City. And the fact that you just said we've signed Kudos, we got Romero on a 5-year deal, no one's expecting that. We've actually got some signings there. We've got the basis of a decent team. I was watching the game on Saturday morning, getting very strong Pochettino vibes about the team, but also the same thing with Pochettino was we had a very good first 11, but that was it. And this team, if this team could be fit for the whole season and play every single game, I know that's not going to happen, but if they could, then you have a good chance of doing something. But that's not going to happen. So the one day that we lose Romero or whoever it might be, we're stuffed. And we could have easily solved that by 3 or 4 decent signings. The homegrown thing, Morgan Gibbs-White, homegrown. Eze, homegrown. We had the opportunity there and just stuffed it up. So, it's just frustrating.
Yeah, and
Peter,
it's not...
Go on, Ian. Go on.
Yeah, make one quick point. With some of the players that we're linked with, they're not homegrown. Paqueta's not homegrown. Simmons is not homegrown. The Rogers is homegrown, but that might be a deal that's just beyond us on price terms.
We've actually got 8, and it was my mistake saying 7. We have got the 8.
This is for Europe, is it?
Oh no, the Europe thing's different. We've only got 1 Austin, so because we're 3 short, it means we have to take 3 off the 17 foreign quota, so we can only have 14 registered for Champions League, which is a disgrace, really.
The best will in the world, Adrian. The chances, in my view, of Maddison playing again this season, seriously, we counted him one of the players. But this is another thing in terms of the planning and what that I don't understand. Why are you letting Mikey Moore go? Why are you letting Donnelly go? Why are you even letting Lancashire go on loan if you haven't got competent replacements to bring in? I mean, you look at Mikey Moore. Now, I've got to say, you see more in him than I have so far. But you look at Mikey Moore, you call him a generational talent. Well, at the weekend, I saw a 15-year-old with something very special, earning a penalty and looking a great player for Arsenal. And then last night, I saw a 16-year-old with a confidence and the maturity of a veteran, plonking a 92nd minute for Liverpool. And we're saying our generational talent isn't good enough to be in the squad and send him off to the back of Rangers, who are a shit show at the moment. So,
well, it's game time, Ian, isn't it? If he's not going to get the game time, he'll lose half a season of his development or whatever. So that's the same. They farmed all the youngsters out, basically, all of them apart from Vaskovic and Scarlett. Basically, they're all gone out on loan. Peter, I don't know.
Let's get Peter back in. Let me.
Peter, I don't know how well you've been following the Savino on-off deal. In the Manchester City news, it said his suitcase was packed. The player wants to come to enhance his World Cup chances, but surely we should be told by the club today or tomorrow if this deal really is on or off, shouldn't we? Or we should walk now. We should be looking at other targets if it's off.
Well, I was hoping that it might be on. I think a lot of it is up to Guardiola if he actually wants him in the squad or not. I don't think it'll be money. I'm sure Savino wouldn't be getting paid more than £130,000. But I think it's up. Personally, the way I see that move, I see it's on Guardiola if he wants him or not.
And
that's what I think about that.
That depends on whether he gets people in. You know, if he's going for Rodrigo, he gets Rodrigo, then he's willing to let Savino go.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, surely, guys, many of you, I mean, like, surely we can't just be working on this deal, not this late in the window. Surely we've got to be working on 2 or 3 deals. You've got a director of football, you've got Levy, you've got Vinay Venkatesham as well. They could all be working on separate deals. I mean, we would hope so, surely. Anyway,
isn't it interesting though that have I read right that Lange has been on garden leave or he's been on holiday?
I don't know.
Day that Parrott is coming back on the last day. So, I mean, I do. That will mean if that will mean that Lange is leaving and Paratici will take the POS, because it's not been competent. I mean, I know there's a lot I can blame with him. Not everything. Not his fault, but you know this structure we keep saying about the football department, and I wonder now if Lange has been a complete failure.
Well, I mean, it's actually. I mean, I think it's a bit hard to assess him, really. I mean, like you've got Kudus in, you've got Paulina in, you've got Romero signing a new contract, he's got Spencer signing a new contract, Danso signed, he got VDV. He got Bergval. I mean, he got Frank in because they were coaches at Dingby, not Bromby. They were coaches that in Denmark, so he knows him. I'm on the inclination. I'm not going to be too harshly rejecting of Jan Langer. He survived the cull in the summer when all the new coaching staff and everyone's coming, and I think he would have gone as well if Levy wasn't happy with him. He would have gone then. I just think that, you know, we'll talk about Paratici later on. What's your take on Langer, Brad?
Well, now that you mentioned it, now you said all those players, that doesn't sound so bad. I think Langer was kept because he's worked with Thomas Frank before. And, you know, he must know what Thomas Frank wants. But, yeah, it doesn't exactly inspire a lot of confidence when you see the 2 main deals that we wanted sort of fall through. And as for the players going on loan, I just wonder whether Thomas Frank was promised replacements. and knew that they wouldn't get in the squad, so they've gone out on loan. Because I'm presuming that Thomas Frank has the sign off on players that go on loan as much as he does on players that come in. So I just wonder whether that was the reason that they've all gone on loan, because he was promised something else. So I don't know.
And after all, I mean, he might go for the players, but he's the one that signs the checks, is he, Langer? He's not the one that signs the checks like
No.
for someone.
No. Well, I mean,
Vinay should be the one doing it now, but Levy, this transfer window seems to have Levy's hands all over it, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Levy said in that conversation with Gary Neville, he said, I don't get involved in the football. I just come in to negotiate the fee. And it's which really, when you see what's just gone on, you think, well, you're not doing that very well, are you?
Yeah.
So,
Peter, your take on Lang? Do you know much about him, or?
I don't know much about him, mate. I just think he's got a job to do. He does his job, and then Levy has a final say no matter what.
Yeah.
Well, this is the other thing, isn't it? We've gone through a lot of football managers, haven't we? Langer, all these sort of directors of football, and the common denominator is that the guy at the top, Levy's still there. So that, you do wonder whether these are just scapegoats, effectively.
Let's move on to a couple of options if we don't get Savinio. I hope we get him personally. I do hope we get him. This guy's done well in Italy at Atlanta. They want to let him go. He's on the move. He didn't do too well at Leicester City and Everton, but that was a good few years ago. He does score goals. He scored goals out there in Italy. I would have posted videos of him. I don't know if any of you have seen them.
I remember him playing for Everton.
Yeah, it wasn't very good.
No.
I mean, he's just one of the options. I mean, I don't know if you've seen much of him.
I mean, is he any better than Tell Odeberg?
Well, the thing is with Tell and Odeberg, they're still developing, aren't they? He's 27 now, I think, Lookman. So
is he really?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh,
yeah.
sorry, I didn't realise it. I thought he was still about 21, 22.
But this is where you need the profession to their diligence to be doing their analysis, their what do they call it, with the stats, with their numbers, to look at whether they think coming back to the Premier League is the right move for him and the right move for the club that buys him. I'm always a little bit wary about players that have failed on a certain stage before, because there's often a reason for it. Now, it just might be that at Atalanta, he's found his natural home, and his natural home found him. I mean, an example, Alan Brazil was a really good player and he was for Manchester United, but he was not a patch on the player for Ipswich. Maybe working alongside Weimar.
Dixon Mariner were alongside him.
Whether that was the difference or whatever, and it might be that the players and the coach and whatever suits him. I'm not saying he's a bad player at all, but I think the pros with someone like Luke, going to bring someone like that in, and I don't know what he's going to be, 40-50 million pounds, somewhere in that region.
It's Italy, a big nearer of 40.
Well, all right, 40 million pounds, quite a lot.
But we pay that for kids, Ian. We pay 40 mil for kids.
Absolutely, but what we're looking at doing with someone like, you're going to talk about some other players you've got lined up here, is that you're looking for, and I will not use that term, but you're looking for players who are ready to come into the first team as first choice and play in and influence the big games. That's not Archie Gray yet, but Lookman, that's the sort of player. So you have to get that recruitment right. Part of the problem at Tottenham, we've got too many big signs wrong for too long.
Yeah.
Marcus Edwards is another one as well, isn't he? setting the world alight for Porto or whatever it was, and then he signs for Burnley.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah, I mean, I have certain reservations about Gyökeres. I mean, he may turn out to be an absolute world beater for Arsenal. He gets used to their system. There was some quite good analysis on this on Match of the Day on Saturday night. But I was really I was concerned about the basics of his game that I saw against Man United. You know, his touch was really poor. His positioning, his mobility, and what have you. They're not things that can get coached.
No. And if you can't do it in a team with Arsenal that has to play with lots of chances, it's early days for him, though. It's early days.
Oh no, I agree. I agree. That's about getting your due diligence right, and getting it absolutely 100% spot on, or as well as you can. You look at Brentford as an example. I can't think of a player they bought, and someone maybe who knows their squad better will tell me that they bought a player that hasn't been at least worth the money they paid, and that they could sell for significantly more than they paid.
Yeah, they've done really well, haven't they? With
this
their
guy,
players.
Brad, this guy would be a good fit, though, wouldn't he?
He would, but did you see him score his goal for West Ham? Admittedly, they lost 5-1, but did you see him score his goal? And he did all the badge kissing, all that sort of stuff. So I know that doesn't mean anything, but you know, and are West Ham going to sell another player to us? I wouldn't have thought so. His disciplinary record's not that good.
No, he's a bit temperamental, like most South Americans.
This is why I'm so annoyed and so frustrated. You know, we've gone from Morgan Gibbs White and Eze to Lookman or Paqueta or the guy at Leicester. You know, and it's just the same. We always do it. I mean, look, Paqueta could be signed. He might be brilliant. Who knows? But at the moment, it's just not inspiring me much. I quite like the idea. How would you guys compare the guy at Villa with
Morgan Wedges?
Yeah, with someone like Morgan Gibbs White. I'm presuming they're similar players.
Well, we can jump ahead to this guy, right? Because I did a banner. It's more media BS. Signed a 4-year deal last season. They're going to want mega money for him, and if we're thinking of getting a couple of for me, I don't know. I will listen to your take. I can't. That's just my opinion. Ian, this isn't going to happen, is it?
Might be right, and I think if it's 80 million, I don't think we'll be. I've seen that number banded about, but the bottom line is, we're not professional pundits with big inside information and content on the inside, and even some of the ITKs that I thought were giving me some really brilliant information. I mean, some of them are just professional fraudsters, but there is the only issue for me with Aston Villa is, do they need to sell this window to comply with PSR rules? If they need to sell for PSR, it won't be 80 million. It might be 50 or 55 or 60 million. The kind of money we were prepared to pay for the other Morgan Gibbs White, and that I think would be money very well spent. The thing about Morgan Rogers and Savinho, Kudos, if you've got them, or something like, they can all play in any of the positions across the front three, and I think that gives you an enormous amount of flexibility, even within the game, swapping wings and what have you, and giving the fullbacks a few different things to think about. If you remember it, like Jimmy Pearson, Jimmy Neighbour, certainly
I remember them.
Jimmy Neighbour on the wing,
Jimmy Neighbour on the wing, but sometimes Neighbour would start left and Neighbour right, or the other way round, and after 20 minutes, if not much was happening, they switched wings and gave it the other way, and I just think, I just like this idea of forwards players who can play across the line in any position, as long as they're not jumping of all trade, but masters of none of them.
Well, I'll tell you what, after seeing Morgan Gibbs-White, especially the first half against Brentford, and I believe he had a decent game on the weekend as well. You know, if Morgan Rogers is 80% the same, you know, of Morgan Gibbs-White, that's a good signing, really. And we got to the stage now, we can't negotiate. We can't negotiate. We just got to go to these clubs and say, how much do you want for player X, player Y? You know?
Yeah. Peter, Morgan Rogers. Surely when they start talking 80 million, 90 million, 100 million, then like it's not, although that's the English tax, it makes more sense to go for Xavi Simons, even Rodrigo or someone like that then, because like to me, we're not paying that sort of money. That's mental. If he was Rodrigo, yeah. You know, I mean, when you can get Simons for less than that, I mean, the maths don't add up to me going for Morgan Rogers. Not this late in the window, anyway.
Not for that money, no.
But
I can't see it.
We've left ourselves in that position now. As Sean Butler said, if your plumbing goes badly on Sunday, you pay more money to get a plumber in to do your plumbing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's the situation we're in. That's the situation we're in now.
I think this is my little opinion. After the 2 wins we've had at the start of the season, I think Levy feels comfortable that we've got enough.
Well,
seriously.
That's a theory. I mean, I think there's a lot that would agree with you, especially most of the Levy out brigade, or all of them, basically. Yeah, I get that, but yeah, I mean, all we can hope is that like we've got a few deals lined up that just need to be signed off on. I mean, no one's gone in for Lookman, right? Go and get him. African player of the year, Tom said there, a fellow admin in Spurs Diets, an admin in Spurs Diets. €1 probably best final player I've seen in years. So we've taken a punt on other players, and for 40 mil, which seems to be the standard price for players now, even youngsters.
Mind you, we've seen one of the best semi-final performances ever, Lucas Moura in Amsterdam. You know, does it make him a better player? I don't know.
No.
See, I still think, again, everybody looks at football differently. I still like Gray and I still like Bergvall. I can see Gray, once he wakes up, he'll be fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I see things. See, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, the argument I have with people over the thing about football and all that, everybody sees it differently. Like, I don't look at... I look at what his mindset is when things he's trying to do. Is he got confidence? And to me, Gray showed a lot of potential. He's very comfortable on the ball. It's just a matter of him getting his head right, feel comfortable. But I think he's got the skill, and I think he's got the brains to make it as a good midfielder. I really do. Bergvall the same. Bergvall, I reckon, will get more. My only thing now with Bergvall and Gray is what is Frank going to do with him? Is he going to just use him as like gap filler, or is he going to actually give him some decent time? That's my. I think
he's going to rotate them, because I think that you're going to have to with the Champions League and the League Cup and the FA Cup. I think Bergvall could become a number 10, because I think he's got a good passing ability and he's good on the ball. He takes the ball forward, but I don't think at the moment they're going to be top players, and I don't mind paying 40 million for Archie Gray, but I don't think we can say that they're going to be our two players this season, because you know we still forget how young they are. So I think we've still got to put them in with it more experienced players and that sort of thing. Learn the ropes first. But,
See, when I was watching, when they first came into the side last year, I was watching all their preseason games, and I watched them over and over and over. But every time I watched the game again, I I concentrated on Bergvall. I concentrated on Gray. See what they do, where they are, what did they try to do, what, and I was impressed with them. And this talk about Vuskovic being sent on loan, that would be the biggest mistake Frank ever does. That Vuskovic, I'm telling you, lads, for me, he's going to be another Paolo Maldini, mate. I've seen enough of that to know where he's coming from.
They're going to have to do it, Graham Bergvall, in the games they play now. I mean, Gray's only had 2 games in midfield, and he's shown something. Fans haven't seen it. And I get the question marks against them. They're both still developing. Unlike Brad, I don't see Bergvall as a number 10. I don't like numbers 10s, 8s, and 6s. I don't like any of that. I'm not a numbers person like that. I actually see Bergvall. I just see him as an attacking midfielder. That's what I see him as. He's not a 10. I mean, like when you look at 10s that we've had, I mean, you've got Ericsson. He's a different 10 to Maddison, right? He's totally different. Dele Alli plays the 10 off the main striker, totally different to those two again. Bobby Firmino used to play more deeper at Liverpool and feed the wingers. He was different again. And then when you get a conversation with people, they go, oh, that player's not a 10. Well, if we're having that conversation, you've got to explain what your perception of your number 10 is.
All right, attacking midfielder, creative midfielder. Someone who can unlock a defence on like a low block. And I saw a Bergvall make a pass, I think it was against Burnley, with the side of his foot, back to goal, side of his foot, perfectly out to the wing. I forget who got it, probably Spence. And it's just that vision he had to know that player was there, that ball through. That's what I mean by number 10, attacking midfielder, creative midfielder, whatever you want to call him. And that's what we have been going in for. And as I said, Morgan is White against Brentford, the half I saw there, he was doing that sort of thing. I've seen Ezzy do it. They create stuff out of nothing. And that's the sort of player we want. That little bit of magic, a little bit of gold dust. You know, we haven't got it at the moment.
Yeah, true, Tom. Tom's right here. Yeah, Ian, Paz and Cappy rumours. I'll pair these up deliberately. More media BS, right?
I'm going to people. Hi, Jose. So, right.
Hi, Jose.
You want to do that one?
Yeah, more media BS. Now it comes out, no contact bids for either player. You know what I'd like to see the club do? Because this media out there, they are crap, aren't they? They're absolutely crap. They just spin. And it's always, yes, the player's coming, no, the player's not. Yes, and they alternate, keep that. And I'd like to see the club, mind you, might not do them too good. At the end of the season, at the end of a transfer, and come out and say, right, we were linked with all these players during the transfer window, but we never had any contact with this player, that player. I'd like to see the media embarrassed because it's getting out of hand. This shit they're coming out with.
Yeah. Again, sorry, mate. And it won't happen because you've always got the thing, if they don't deny one particular player, it means we were in for whatever, and players and agents and what have you like to keep their powder dry. So it won't happen, although I absolutely understand why you're saying. I mean, I had a bit of a rant on the show on Sunday saying about that I couldn't understand why, when you looked at the mechanics of that deal, that Madrid had options at 9 million or 10 million pound next year, and an opportunity to buy at the half the price of any offer that they had now. That if we were to offer 70 million pounds, which I don't think for a minute we were, they would be able to buy the player now for 35 million, or let him go, and then Como would get a particular percentage, plus Real would have a percentage of any sell-on deal. There was never anything in that deal. Forget about what Paz wanted. There was never any possibility that deal could be made attractive for Real Madrid and for Como. It was not. So to find out that actually we'd not made any offers, and it, you know, you might talk and say, well, how would this work and what have you? And it would soon be made clear to you, because these people aren't stupid, that it would soon be made clear that the mechanics of it and the arithmetic of it just don't add up. that it
But
can't.
it's the way. I mean, you take in Cappy. The annoying thing is now, if it's true, bash Spurs. You're entitled to critique them. That's fine. But if we were never in for him, and you got media outlets going, Spurs lose out on another signing to Arsenal,
Yeah.
reports of that. I mean, like, it's just. I mean, I actually go through them now, and I've had lists for a long time of what I will actually pull up and put on the Facebook groups or in the WhatsApp groups. I'd hardly post anything in a WhatsApp group because the guys in there in both groups, Sean and ours, they're too mature and that to like believe that crap anyway that's posted. So like, and sensible, they're too mature and sensible. But and this is why I'd like to see. I mean, and I think the club deliberately let it be known after the Ezzy Morgan Gibbs White clusterfuck that we were definitely not interested in Hincapie, just to kill them stories before, we have another mini meltdown from the fan base. Like,
right on this. I suspect that we did that once it became clear that he was another one that fancied Arsenal, and that was a bit of the department at least doing its job. I suspect it may be right, but the good thing about that, Adrian, and the good thing about that, Tom, is you'll never know, and that's I think the important thing. It's what the CIA, I think, used to call, probably still do, plausible deniability. You can deny you weren't. You can deny that you were interested in the player and what have you. And if he's not coming, and if he doesn't want to come to the club, we're all agreed. Whatever we might disagree on panel and chat, we all agree that we do not want players coming to Tottenham who are not coming to play for the club, play for the badge. Some interest in the chat. I don't know if you want to pick up any of these, Adrian.
Yeah. Look, he's a good player. He did well for England, didn't he, in the Euros now? He's 20 years of age. And you know what the fan base will say? Not another baby, in the team. I mean, and he's not. I mean, he's surprised he can find, the space and not get like launched into the stand because he's not a very big player either, is he? You know what I mean? So
play him as a 10, Adrian.
He can beat the press. I mean, he's talented. I mean, like, are we going to do a deal with Man United to help them out? If we really wanted a player, why aren't we going for Garnacho instead? If we're not getting Savinho, I mean,
I think this has all got to be Garnacho, Silvinho, still to be decided. Simmons. I don't think any of those. Well, Silvinho maybe, but my gut, that none of those players will be at the clubs that employ them tonight on Monday night. So something's got to give, and they can't all be Chelsea.
Yeah. Jose, I never said 5 at any time. I said I know we've got a lot of holes to fill. 6, in fact, but I still think I said we'll get. I thought we're going back a bit. We'd get another 3, and now I still think we'll get 2 in. But the question is, it's unlikely that the 2 we get in are going to satisfy the fan base, though.
When are we going to go in for a player like Mbomo or Ezzy, these sort of players, and they're going to say, "Oh, I want to sign for Tottenham because I was a Tottenham supporter as a boy." They also always seem to support other teams, didn't they? The only player I can think of that we was linked with for years and years and years who was a Tottenham Hotspur supporter was Gareth Barry.
Spence?
I don't know, is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, I'll take your word for that. I just can't think of anyone. But yeah, all these players. Oh yeah, I've always been a Man United fan, or I've always been a Liverpool fan, or I've always been an Arsenal fan. They never seem to say they're a Tottenham fan. It's really weird.
Peter Paqueta, at least he's Premier League proven.
Yes, yeah, I like him. I like him a lot, actually. He's a very strong player. He's got he's got the football brain. I reckon he'd be bloody magnificent at our team. I really do. I think he's. I tell you what, we're talking about the, God, I'm going blank again. A centre forward. that we have at the moment.
Richarlison,
Richarlison, mate. I tell you what, if that bastard can buddy stay fit, God, he'd be fantastic. I mean, there was a period there under Rangers thing. Was it the first year where before he came into the team, and I think he scored 12 goals in I don't know how many matches or something, and then he got injured again.
Yeah,
I think it was 7 and about 11 or something like that.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, 7-11, and then he got injured again. If he can stay fit,
Yeah.
and then with Solanke, so you got two players you can. You got two players that can play that position. I mean, they're both different players, of course, but you know, it'd be really good even if we. I mean, it'd be good to get a couple of players in, but if we can stay fit, I reckon we've got a good little squad there. You know what I mean?
He's got a lot to do to regain my trust. We do this with players so many times. They come back, have a couple of good games. The fan base fall in love with them again, and then they drop off the cliff or they get injured. I mean, that's my issue. Listen, I like to be proved wrong because that means the team's doing well or the players doing well, and that's what we want to see from all the players, which is not possible, but, you know.
Mind you, Kane used to get injured every season, didn't he? Remember?
Yeah, that was in after about 3 seasons.
He missed a load of games every season. But I think if Richarlison stays fit, he could well be the surprise of the team. But as you say, we're only 2 games in. So
one follow. Guys, just to come in here, we got a total of 163 of you, of which 146 are on X. If you are on X and can come on the YouTube to watch us, it's much better for us as and our algorithms, and you can come on and hit the like button and the subscribe button and what have you. That would be really useful. Those of you that are already watching on YouTube, please hit the like button and if you're not already subscribers, do hit I haven't even had a drink tonight.
It's in the bottom right hand corner. We're trying to get to 1,500, right? So
did you see Tom's comment on why players don't support Spurs? It's probably true, actually.
Yeah. I think he's probably right.
Yeah.
When I was in primary school in North London in the late 60s, early 70s, it was Spurs and Arsenal, probably 50, and then the biggest contingent after that was Man United. Now you find if it's you're in North London, it might be Arsenal, fair smattering of glory hunting Chelsea supporters.
Well, that's right.
Yeah, but we've been linked with this guy, young French player, Monaco. The only player I've really looked at Monaco before was Vanderson, the right back, who I like a lot. He's a tank. But this guy looks like an option if it isn't Paqueta. If it isn't, then it isn't Xavi Simons, who I would like Xavi Simons. There's rumours that he's got an attitude problem, so do we really want that? Don't know. But then all Dutch players have got an attitude problem. All Dutch managers have struggled with their squads in competitions because they do speak their mind, these Dutch players. They don't hang back. Yeah. Do you know anything about him, Brett?
No, not a thing.
Post the videos for all you guys to watch, but it's optional whether you watch them or not.
I mean, I've seen so many names over the past couple of weeks. I'm just sort of it's all white noise to me now.
Absolutely with Brad on this.
Okay. So you won't have seen El Canoes either, I doubt. I watched videos of him at that level. I mean, he's a baller, but he's lightweight and consistency, I think.
I made the comment on one of the WhatsApp groups. If we're going to go for El Canusi, should we have kept Donnelly? I mean, how similar are they? Is Donnelly anywhere near the standard of this? I'm only saying this because El Canusi played for Leicester, where he's going to sort of probably stand out.
Yeah,
I could be wrong. He could be a very good player. I don't know, but
his numbers are good down that division. But, all right, a couple of outs. Then I want to talk about something else, right? So something more positive, right? Basuma, rumoured to West Ham or Galatasaray. Look, if you're going bis, if you need any help packing, mate, I'll call the Uber for you. I'll get you your Uber cab, right? But, you know, where I'm wrong on this is if we're short of numbers, we're probably going to have to keep him and let him run down his contract. Because if we don't get someone in, we won't have a 25-man squad. If he goes out and Gil goes to Girona, and we're assuming that Solomon will still go to Leeds, we're going to be short of numbers. This is why I don't get when Pep comes out and says, I prefer to work with a small squad. I just don't believe that. I don't believe it at all. It doesn't make sense when you're in 4 competitions to want to work with a small squad. I get it might be easier to manage, not players come knocking on your door winning game time at times. But
you might have 11 brilliant players and 11 average players, and you might have a squad of 15 brilliant players. I think that's the difference.
I think you've got about 18, that's about it. And the others, you're never going to keep 25 brilliant players happy. That's not going to happen. You're going to give yourself more grief than enough. Yeah, so
I don't understand how Chelsea buy so many players. They must have about 30 or 40 players, surely.
They've sold quite a few, though. Brought some money, and I don't follow them because I've got no time for them, you know what I mean? But
What's interesting
is, go on, Ian.
Point is that Chelsea, you know, when you look at the model of buying young players that he can either develop for the first team and or sell at a profit, we virtually never sell any players at any sort of profit. Almost, and invariably we're taking big losses on them or actually paying them to buy out their contract, to let them go on freeze so that they can join other clubs. It's honestly it's appalling. It's appalling. We are letting Gil, Bissouma and Solomon's go, and let's be honest, none of them are going to be playing many minutes for Tottenham this season. Then you have to say, despite all our disappointments, that behind the scenes they've got encouragement in terms of the players that we might get in. That's the only conclusion to come to if they're going to let 3 more go.
Right. I'm going to give the channel a bit of a plug now. 171 of you viewing us on various platforms. We really appreciate your support. We're a fledgling channel. We've only been going 14 months, but we're doing okay. But you've got the red subscribe button in the bottom right-hand corner. If you could hit it and subscribe to the channel, it helps the algorithm. Our shows go out every Tuesday. I host a Tuesday show with either Ian or Tom, fellow admins. Fridays, Drew Zilla hosts. I co-host with him. And on Sunday, Ian hosts. Obviously, we might throw the odd shine like the Monday show because it's the last day of the transfer window. We do have a Facebook group. We do have an XCOM group. If you can find us and join them, it's up to you if you use those different types of media. We thank you all for your support, for all those in the chat, for your comments and your questions. And a big up to everyone watches on playback. And with that, let's move on to something a bit more positive. Spurs news and move. Peter, 6 points from 2 games, 2 clean sheets with +5 goal difference, mate. What's gone wrong?
Mate, absolutely beautiful to see, isn't it? It's lovely to see. So we got the jump on them. It was good. It's a good start. Impressed with Kudos, Polina. Yeah, I'm very happy actually. I think all the players have lifted, which is good. Which is good for the squad. So it'll make all the French players a bit more keener to get match time. Sarr has been fantastic. What an engine this bloke's got. Yeah, he's your typical destroyers, and he's up and down, never stops. God, he's a V8, isn't he?
Yeah. He's been our best player this season, to be honest, isn't
he? Yeah, he does the work, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And to think he's only, 22, 23?
Yes. Well, he's played in the quarterfinals of World Cups as well, so or 8th round of World Cup.
Well, can you imagine him when he's 25, 26, barring injuries, of course, when they start to hit their prime? Mate, it's just beautiful to see. I just hope it keeps on going. I hope we don't get any injuries because we know what that could mean. Yeah, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Who are we playing next week? Brentford, is it?
No,
No,
Bournemouth.
Bournemouth. Sorry,
Bournemouth,
yeah,
Bournemouth
Bournemouth.
at home, and then we got the dreaded international break, right? That's what
Yeah,
Well,
no.
after Bournemouth at home, we've got another month before our next home game.
I think it's
Jesus.
13 days. I think it's it might be a month before the home game. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so far so good. Good start. Beautiful. See if you
Champion,
keep going.
Your
Brad.
take on our start to the season, Ian?
Oh, I'm over the moon. Absolutely over the moon. I was really pleased when we beat Arsenal pre-season. Not just the fact that we beat them, but just the organisation and the organisation that Frank had demonstrated, and the ability to defend the lead with solid defensive play. I'm really disappointed at the end game because I thought we blew that a little bit, and I thought, Tom, you haven't won anything. Cam, I'm going to mute you again. Sorry, pal. That you haven't won anything, and there was, you were 10 minutes away from winning a trophy, and it didn't happen. So you go into the first two games of the season, excellent against Burnley. I thought we'd probably just scrape over the line in that, but we were really. I was at the game as you were as well, Brad, weren't you?
Yeah.
Too. And then, but at the Etihad, and I know we've got a sort of an Indian side on them at the moment, but I thought the performance was just so good. And in fact, you took about. I mean, I thought Odebear he only came on for a little cameo, but he was quite impressive coming on down that side and what have you. So, yeah, I'm really, really happy. I think the defense, and I think it's absolutely right that we also focus on the new contracts. I think Romero just looks like a captain and looks like a leader, and I think he's showing signs of maturity. And in fact, the yellow card he got was absolutely ridiculous. I mean, they must teach referees about confirmation bias, it's called, where Romero's a dirty bastard, I'll just watch out for him. And then he commits a perfectly good tackle, but because you've got in your head he's a dirty bastard, you give him a yellow card and penalise him. So that was really poor. But beyond that, the number of great performances, in particular on Saturday lunchtime, were absolutely superb. And as I say, Pat Matassar, I gave Paulinho man of the match. But anyone wants to say, you're talking crap, it was this one. Well, I'm not talking crap, but there could have been 3 or 4 contenders, particularly Star. And I think the best thing, and I might get a T-shirt with that on, says 70% of the world's population is covered by water, and the other 30% is covered by Pat Matassar. Because by God, that man's got some engine, and he's really maturing. And this is the thing: when people slag off the Greys or the Bergvals, yeah, you might want more mature first team ready players, but these players can be really good. And I mean, Sarr, he's still only what is he, 21 or 22? He's still so young, and he's still got so much development. His body's still growing at that age. And when you see the work he did, the running he does, his positional awareness, his common sense, just superb. So I think it's a good start. And if we didn't sign another player, and I mean, I'm absolutely certain we will, but if we didn't sign another player, I think Frank has enough to work with his own tactical flexibility to make something of this. Give us an attacking, just one thing, Brad. Give us an attacking midfield player, a proper 10, someone to play that 10 role. I'm with Adrian on numbers, and someone and a better player, a better starter than Tell or even Johnson, who started really well. But Johnson, Odebear, or Johnson to start in that wide left role, and I think we're really cooking. Particularly if you look at backups like Johnson, Tell, Odebear, you're starting to look at having some really, really good players.
Brad.
Yeah, I was very impressed with our start to the season. The two things that concerned me before we started, one was, although you can have a go at Postecoglou's tactical awareness, etc., 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 the one thing he did get going in that team was an amazing team spirit. The team spirit that basically took us through to win the Europa League. And I was just worried that when Thomas Frank come in, whether that would dip a bit. But it quite obviously hasn't. He's come in and he's retained this amazing spirit we've got with this team, and they all want to work with each other. They all want to play for each other. This is what worries me about getting players that might have some sort of disciplinary problems. The other thing was that would they be able to take to Frank's tactics really, really quickly, or would it take half a season or whatever? They seem to have taken it pretty well so far. So those two worries I had. Don't seem to be worried much at all. The other thing was Burnley. What are you going to do against your, a team that's come up from the promoted team? You're playing them at home. We beat them 3-0. You couldn't really ask for more than that. It wasn't a stuffy 1-0 win or whatever. It was a 3-0 win. And then we went to Manchester City. We got the 2 goals. And to be fair, all right, I think Haaland had that header that he headed over. And then I think Vicario made that really good save in the first half. Apart from that, we were never troubled, especially in that second half. I've never seen us control a game at an away ground like we did. And we actually looked more like scoring than they did.
Absolutely.
So Haaland always misses a mandatory sitter against us.
Yeah.
If you watch the games, he does it every game.
The only thing that would have been interesting, and I'm glad it didn't happen, the only thing that would have been interesting if Haaland had scored that goal and then Man City have a bit of momentum in the second half, how would we react to it? But he didn't, and we didn't have to. So I was well played. The one little teeny criticism I got, and I won't say we had a best player or a worst player. One teeny criticism, I think Jed Spence has to be careful where he tries to take players on, because he was doing it right near his own penalty area, and I'm not so sure that's going to work every time. That's my one little criticism of the performance. But other than that, he was just brilliant. And when he does that up the pitch, that's fine. Not a problem. Just that one little bit in that penalty area, you got into a little bit of trouble. That's the only one thing. But no, I'm well pleased with it. It's still very much work in progress. We still probably have to sign some players. Yes, I think we've got enough there for Frank to work with over the season. I'm still looking at the FA Cup as a good chance of winning something again, because I think we've given a decent draw in that, and the fact that we would have had half a season playing under Thomas Frank. But I'm well pleased. If you'd have said to me, beat Burnley and get a draw at City before the season started, I would have said, I'd beaten your hand off. But as a friend of mine on Saturday said, when I said I'd be pleased with a point, he goes, no, we want to win it. We want to win it. And I think, that's the right attitude. So I'm well pleased with that.
Peter, we didn't get a yellow card against Burnley. We didn't need to. And actually, getting 3 goals, I don't think they conceded more than 2 in the Championship. And we looked like we could have scored more. But the thing that slightly annoys me, I'm glad we're showing more bite. I'm not against yellow cards, but you don't want to pick up 5 before the 18th game, or you're going to get a 1-match suspension. And I think that's hard in midfield to do it. But Johnson kicking the ball away. Surely just stand on it. Don't kick it away, and don't take your shirt off when you score a goal, and don't make a simulated dive. I mean, these things infuriate me.
It did me at the time on Saturday.
Peter, are you muted? Is he muted?
He muted him. Ian muted him.
Ian muted him.
Sorry.
You're unmuted now, Peter.
That was a bit of poor form, wasn't it? I mean, it's not as if you're playing in some final or something. You're trying to waste a bit of time or something like that. Where take one for the team. But I think that was stupid. And the one that Romero got on the weekend, didn't he get a yellow card? But I think that was for dissent.
No, it's for a tackle.
It was for the tackle, was it?
It was, and it was.
Yeah. But anyway, sometimes things happen. You got to do things, and No, it's only when they do stupid things, like that's annoying. Tackling and all that, that could be 50-50. It is what it is, but stupid yellow cards, it's to a certain degree it's unforgivable, isn't it?
As you say, if it had been 1-0 going into injury time and he kicked the ball away, so fair enough. But it wasn't. It was in the first half.
Yeah, you're right. Yep, you're right.
We're showing more bite, Ian, aren't we? Which is good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like
Yep.
Ian, showing more bite.
I absolutely. I think that will be the Frank way. I think, but the defensive discipline, defensive shape, defensive tackling. I've just been so impressed with it. I think
press is good. The press up front, press is really good. I mean, we've got the goal. Yeah.
The way we're able to, when the soon as City pressed us, we were just playing over the press rather than the end, which was just trying to keep until you lost the bloody ball. It was, the more you look at it, the more my defensive hands is looking tenuous. But and I've just lost what I'm going to. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about my man of the match for the first two games, and my man of the match was Thomas Frank. Right, I've been impressed, and I don't get much chance to watch Brentford when they play us and all that, but he puts a lot of thought in the game. He played the youngest midfield against Burnley, changes it against them. Everyone thought we might go for the back five against Man City. Now he's shown to me, Ian, that if you're going to go 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1 against Man City, you can do that against any team in the Premier League.
Absolutely. 100%. I don't know if Brad. I think tactically been really, really impressive, and I think we've shown much more attacking instinct than I thought we would, particularly when we went 2 up at City. My worry at half time was we would sit back, and we would get punished. But there was none of Brad said earlier than they did. I thought, they had the odd chance, a couple of big blocks and stuff like that, but we were creating far more open chances than they were, and probably should have had a third or even a fourth.
Yeah, we had 38% possession, but we had 12 shots to their 10. So, yeah. Let's move on.
Bournemouth will be a tough test, I think.
Yeah, up next, Bournemouth. So, as you say, that's after brilliant break. Let's talk about this guy. Now, this is Ben Jacobs, who I'm also pissed off with because he's just a spin doctor. I think he just likes to hear his own voice now. Right. Before I had a bit more on him, but they've got it wrong so many times when they thought they were right this year. These the media, social media. Rumour is Fabio to return as recruitment director. John Lang under threat, is he? Not so sure. I think there might be both of them might have a job. Ben Jacobs explosives. This is talk about 1st of October, so we've got another month. Then it looks like he's very pally with Levy anyway. Paratici. So you happy to take him back? Anyone? Peter? He was on mute again, is he? Okay.
But every time I'm getting his noise in my hearing aids.
Yeah, okay, fair
enough. Paratici, I suppose he can be useful, especially in the Italian market and stuff like that. But Lane's done all right so far. Like I said, at the end of the day, it all boils down to Levy and how much flexibility he gives gives Lange and Paratici.
You can never have too many contacts, Brad.
No, I mean it's interesting. I mean, I know that Daniel Levy wanted to get Paratici for many years and then ended up getting him. And also, I think I got the impression that Paratici is the one person that will talk to Levy and tell him what for, basically. Yeah, I mean, I'm not against it. As I say, it was a bit strange when he got done for all these things, but he served his time and he's back. And as I say, Joanne Lang, I think it's the connection with Thomas Frank that's the thing there. Yeah, be interesting. It'll be interesting because if he signs in October, then we've got 2 months before the next transfer window. You just wonder whether he'll have his irons in the fire like he used to.
Just going to say,
we're not going to carry on for too much longer, guys, because there ain't really a great deal out there and we don't like to waffle on. But tomorrow, we've got the Caribou Cup 3rd round draw. Right, Peter, who do you want? We want a home tie. Peter, who would you like to play? I know I wouldn't.
Can we play a non-league side?
Not in this competition. It's the League Cup.
No, mate, the way we're playing, I'm confident of anyone. I don't care. Bring it on. I mean, look, you can only beat what's in front of you. Where the team's in good early form, I really don't mind. I really don't.
Pick one.
Anybody. Okay. Everton.
Okay, that's an unusual choice. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, Everton.
Home draw, obviously. Any home draw does.
Well, actually, not. I'm not so worried about home draw. I just hope we get one of the weakest teams that are in the competition.
West Ham, then, yeah.
Actually, to be fair, I wouldn't mind Fulham away because if I'm working in Hammersmith that day and I can get a ticket for it, it's a game I can go to after work and then come home after it. So, but yeah, I mean,
revenge against Fulham, yeah, another penalty.
Yeah, well, that's right. I was there when we lost on penalties. So yeah, Carabao Cup. I mean, it's always been the League Cup to me. I'm a bit old-fashioned. I think you'll find that if we, one thing I was going to say about Thomas Frank is that I feel much more confident now of going to these grounds like Anfield, the Emirates, and being able to get a result. Whereas before, I never had any confidence whatsoever. Now I've got that confidence. So if we do pick a decent team in it, chances are they're going to, we're all going to feel weakened teams probably, or rotated teams, should I say? So yeah, but no, I mean, a home tie against the weakest team in the competition that will suit me.
Ian?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking. Sorry, I'm going to mute you again. Sorry. Yeah, I want to say I was actually going to say good evening to Jess. I saw Calvin Lewin miss 2 or 3 really gilt-edged chances, and those penalties would have. Well, we won't say anything about those penalties, Jess. Sorry, your team are out though. But Reading, Cambridge United, Wolves, Brentford, Doncaster Rovers, Barnsley, Port Vale, Wycombe Wanderers, Burnley, Lincoln City, although I've seen us lose a League Cup tie at Lincoln since Bank in 1983, it must have been. Cardiff, Southampton, Wrexham, Bradford. I mean, I'm just going through. There are plenty of sides. Bottom line, I'd like a lower division team at home. Give us a chance to show if we've got proper strength in depth with a rotation. To play Kinski, to play... Well, hang on. To play Danso, to play Bergvall, to play Gray.
Vaskovic.
Patel, yeah. That's and that team would be more than good enough to take out a half decent second tier or third tier side.
Well, I'm a big It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia fan, so I think Wrexham would do me.
Actually, I think that thought did cross my mind. That would be good for the old PR, wouldn't it, for the media and all, getting Wrexham, and great for them as well. It'd be fantastic for them as well, as it always is when you draw a sort of lesser team without being disrespectful to them.
Everyone's seen someone in the comments that said the West Ham are out. I was just looking at how it went. They 1-0 down after 43 minutes. Then they scored 2 goals in 15 minutes in the second half. Went 2-1 up. Paqueta scored. And then Wolves scored in the 82nd and the 84th minute to win 3-2. So,
West
Ham.
So Potter's gone to Potts already then, yeah?
Yeah. But their next home game, us.
Yes. Yeah, they won't relish that.
Yeah, well, no, they probably lift their game for that, won't they? They always do.
Yeah.
They look awful. They look relegation material. What I've seen already. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind Man City or Man United at home. I mean, like we it's like we just seem to keep beating them recently, so that would be good. If it's at home, I'd even take Chelsea and Arsenal or Liverpool. I would. Well, if you're going to meet the big guns, why not meet them early? You know. Other than that, yeah, one or the other. Yeah. As long as it's a home draw, I'm always like that on a home draw, not too bothered. Right. We're not going on for too much longer, guys, unless you've got questions in the chat. I've got one other little topic to bring up here. Right. Champions League draws Thursday. We're going to Drew. I'll sort the pots out, and Drew will cover that on Friday's show. But guys, our chances. I mean, it's the same format as the Europa League, which we won. 15 games to win the competition. Obviously, now we know we're not going to win it. Anyone in their right mind knows we're not going to win it. Like we're not winning the Premier League, but we've got a chance of getting Europe this year, and a chance. You've always got a chance with a domestic trophy. It's only like 6 games to win the FA Cup and 7 with the League Cup, because at the moment you've still got the 2-legged semi-final. I think I can see one of them legs going in the future to make room. But yeah, I mean, so we finished 3rd in the Europa League table, which give us I can't remember if you get an advantage. I can't remember if you get an advantage, a home tie, or what. If anyone knows, let me know out there. Yeah, but surely we're qualifying because like it's the first 24. If you finish out the top 8, the 16 below them that make up 24, they play each other. 8 play 8. So we're not just playing 8 games. I see us playing 10 games. But as for progressing after that, we don't know what form we'll be in. And form gives you belief, doesn't it? If we're in real hot form, we'll think we can beat anyone, right? We don't even know what the shape of the squad's going to be to the end of this window in 5 days. So who's thinking past that knockout stage? Who's thinking quarterfinals here? Anyone? Anyone confident?
So there's how many knockout rounds once you?
Yeah, I thought there was 2 less games for the Champions League teams.
No, it's exactly the same format. They increased the games in because to sweeten the clubs, given more money, more TV money, etc., etc. That was the sweetener, part of the Super League sweetener. You know, it's 15 games as well.
Number of games. I'm to get TV money. I mean, I am shocked that they would even think of doing something like that.
What, for money?
Yeah, they would do anything for money. These people, yeah. God, eh? No whores bigger than blooming football administrator whores. But anyway, that's another story. That's another show. Yeah, look, I think we're champions. Last year was such a bonus. If we're going to win a cup this year, it's more realistically going to be the League Cup, or it's going to be the FA Cup. But let's go give it a chance. We've got a manager that seems to have the tactical nous to be able to outwit other managers and what have you. He'll have better players than he's had to work with before. I'm confident we will get another couple in, although you know that confidence is waning. But I just think there's players coming in. But yeah.
Right, we're going to finish with this. We haven't done this for a while. It's a bit of fun, right? Peter, I'm going to ask you, and Brad's done it before, so has Ian, and I have as well. So what we used to do when we had a bit of short shows, we've got a bit of time, we'd put this up, right? Question 1, how did you become a Spurs fan?
I must have answered this about 9 times.
Question 3, favourite Spurs goal. 4 is a favourite player. And then we got Room 1882. For those of you that ever read 1984 by George Orwell, Room 101 was where you got interrogated. It wasn't a nice place to go, right? So what we do in Room 1882 is we put anyone out there in football, you know, anyone you don't like, a referee in particular, goes in Room 1882. So, Peter, how did you become a Spurs fan, mate? Cobber?
Just by watching the English League. I've got two teams back then. I had Leeds United and Spurs. But look, generally as a whole, I just enjoy football, right? Like on my time with my job, if I'm ramped at a hospital, like the other day I was ramped. I watched the Liverpool match. I just love football in general. Best goals, guys. There's been a lot of goals over the years.
I'll go with
But-
Brad. I want to do the questions in order. Brad, just how did you become a Spurs fan?
Oh, family. Dad was a Spurs fan. Uncle was a Spurs fan. My auntie was a Spurs fan. Just family history, basically. Dad was born in Edmonton. We used to live in Haringey, North London. So yeah, it's inevitable.
Ian, how did you become a Spurs fan? I can't remember if I asked you.
I couldn't even tell you. Peter, sorry, I need to mute you again, mate. It's
That's all right.
yeah, I've just muted you again. It's fine. Just where we were in Enfield, just everyone around was a Spurs fan. I also had a thing for Leeds. I was born. I don't know if Jess is still there. I was born in Leeds, but I left when I was 2, so that's why I actually don't speak like that at all. But I was for Leeds, and then we went to watch. Me and my dad went to Spurs play Leeds, and Spurs scored, and I was up, and that was it. I was committed to being Spurs after that. But I used to support Tottenham and Spurs because Jimmy Greaves played for both Tottenham and Spurs. So both those teams, I was going to support both teams. I might have been 5, so that would have been in 1965, maybe even 6 in 1966. Someone said, Spurs and Tottenham are the same, you winker, or something like that. Mummy
Yeah.
was
With me, I've lived in Edmonton all of my life. I only live a mile and a half from the ground. Season to get older now. I've been for years. But yeah, with me, with my family, like you say, it was all Tottenham then. You didn't have Sky. You didn't have the influence of, being a fair weather supporter, supporting a successful team that won trophies. You didn't know much about European teams and things like that. So with me and my family, it was either Spurs or the orphanage. So I chose Spurs. So Peter, is he unmuted? Unmute Peter. Right, I've unmuted. Peter, just give me any favourite win. I know there'll be loads.
Oh, look, it's hard to remember all the bloody wins, but my favourite, actually, just recently, I just loved the win against Manchester City last week.
Okay.
Beautiful. We had played them. Just beautiful team performance. I got a shocking memory. Trust me.
Okay. All right, Brad, favourite win.
I'm trying to think of. I mean, as you say, it's loads of wins, and this will probably be different from the one I've said previously. I think one of my favourite wins was when we beat Arsenal 3-0 a few years ago under Conte. I think it was the first North London derby at the new stadium. And
it was the loudest I've ever heard that stadium.
It came of age. And normally, any home game you go to, you can hear the opposition fans. But you couldn't hear Arsenal one bit that night, not at all. And we just totally outplayed them in a game that actually, for a change, meant the same to both teams. It's one of very rarely you'll play Arsenal and it'll be you're both going for the same thing. And we were that season, and we won it 3-0, and it was an incredible performance.
Ian, a favourite win?
Yeah, and you've been supporting Spurs as long as we have. It's difficult to pick one out because you give me 20 minutes and I'll write down 20 or 30 games. When you ask for favourite games, Mansfield away in the old second division.
Oh, wow, what a game.
In the there.
One all scored the equaliser on that mud bath. Yeah.
It was the most unreal game of football. You can get it on, anyone wants to see an amazing game, you can get it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Mansfield v Tottenham. It must have been March or April 1978. And it was one of the most remarkable games of football you will ever see. Played on, and it rained and I was soaked, and it was just a wonderful game.
Classic Barry Danes goalkeeping.
Absolutely. And it finished.
It was equaliser for the 3-3 on that muddy pitch right at the very end of the game.
Very model scores.
The funny thing. Sorry, go on.
up the side. Most of the Spurs supporters were up at the goal to our right, where the goal was. But and I turned to there was a lot of Mansfield supporters, and it was all very friendly. And I just turned to him, Hoddle, said, "Glenn Hoddle, free kick, top left hand corner," and there it went, bang. I said,
Yeah.
but favourite win. I can't look past Anderlecht. That was a phenomenal night. The atmosphere, everything that happened. We had injuries, we had suspensions. People forget Perryman didn't play. Who else did Hoddle not play?
I don't think Hoddle did. Ozzy made his comeback, didn't he? I think.
Or was it Ozzy that only came on as a sub?
Yeah.
And he hit the crossbar from 4 yards when it was easier to score, and then the Danny Thomas was stepping up to win it and missed it, and the crowd singing "One Danny Thomas." It was really moving, and then Tony Parks making that save from it was Good Jonsson's dad that missed that penalty. I'm trying to remember. Anyway, it doesn't matter. None of this matters. I
was at that game. I mean, fantastic.
Leaving at 11 o'clock. It was actually quite quiet because we'd all done all our singing in the ground. Then we had to go and find a car train home. That was one of the greatest nights at White Hart Lane. Absolutely.
For drama as well, the game I'll pick for drama, as you've picked that game, which is always one of my all-time favourites, being my top 10 easy. I'm going to go for the Lucas Moura hat-trick in Amsterdam. That was such an emotional day. No one gave us a prayer. We're 2-0 down at half-time. I mean, it's only Spurs. Spurs could do this. Right, where's the next question? Because we'll soon rattle through these. Peter, are you unmuted? I'll just unmute him.
Yeah, I might.
A favourite goal. I mean, there'll be hundreds, Peter. Just pick a favourite Spurs goal.
He definitely played in that game, Ronnie, because he hit the bar and then the ball went out, the cross came in, and Roberts scored. But he played, but he might not have played for much of it. Anyway, sorry, you want to go back to your banner, don't you? Sorry, I probably shouldn't have touched that.
That's all right, don't matter.
And yeah, I got it. Sorry, Adrian.
Peter, a favourite Spurs goal. There'll be hundreds, but just pick one.
Well, the one I'm going to give you is you'll laugh at it. The Europa Cup win last season with Brendan Johnson. He gave us a trophy. Simple as that.
Yeah, it's a good enough reason.
Yeah, his little toe put it in.
Yep. Half a centimetre.
Brad, favourite goal?
I mean, I know. I can't remember if I've said this before, but when I immigrated to Australia, we immigrated to Australia in 1973. So I hadn't seen a Tottenham game for 6 years, and I came back in 1979, and I met up with a mate of mine, and the first game I saw was Tottenham versus Nottingham Forest, and this is a good Nottingham Forest team with Kenny Burns, all these sort of players in it. And it was a goal that probably everyone remembers, the Hoddle volley. That was like the first goal I'd seen. It's here I am, first game in 6 years, the atmosphere, 3 minutes, and we see a goal like that, and I'm literally opposite seeing him hit it. And without a word of a lie, as that ball came down, and I knew Hoddle was going to hit it, I thought, this is in. And it was, amazing goal.
Ian?
Got to be Ricky's in the cup final replay.
Special, wasn't it?
I wasn't there. I was there for goal when the ball didn't touch the ground. Was it Alexic or Parks?
I think it was Alexic. Yeah, I think it was there.
Headed on. I don't know the order, but I think it went to Chris Jones, who headed it on to Jerry Armstrong, who went a Hoddle that inside right position on the edge of the penalty area and volleyed it. And Peter Shilton nearly got a hand to it on the way out. The ball hit the net with such ferocity. And they were a good side then, Nottingham Forest. They were anyone old enough to have seen that team. They were a very, very good side, a very hard team to beat. But Ricky's got. I wasn't at the replay doing my finals, but I watched it with one of my best pals at uni. And that was just, the importance of that goal, the setting of that goal against the background again, if people are old enough, where Ricky was substituted in the second half of the first leg, and walked forlornly down the tunnel. If why me? Well, Ricky, you hadn't played well. A little bit of lack of self-awareness, but he came back, and Keith Birkinshaw kept exactly the same team with exactly the same substitute. There's a quiz question: who was the substitute in both those games?
Gary Brook.
It was Gary Brook. Well done, Brad. And I didn't think I'd get anyone out for long.
Who sadly passed away, isn't he? I think.
Yeah.
I think he has.
I'm going to stick with the Ricky Villa theme. I was at the semi-final when Clive Thomas stitched us up against Wall for the Hoddle trip for the penalty. Right, I was there. It was an absolute disgrace. He always was biased. I know most referees aren't, but we even played Wrexham at home and got knocked out in the League Cup, and he was the referee. I'll give you that, right? So in the replay, Ricky Villa scored a worldie at Arsenal's ground. We played at Highbury, then we won 3-0. And I'm picking that goal, right? Especially as it's on their ground. Yeah. Okay. Right. You all struggle on this one. Peter, is he unmuted? Let's unmute him. Right, he's unmuted. Peter, I know there'll be hundreds. Just pick a favourite Spurs player.
Well, there's not hundreds because Glenn Hoddle, to me, is one of the most brilliant, even though there's been a few, but one of the most brilliant English players I've seen. What amazed me more about him than his goals and all that is he had this knack of giving you a long ball and the ball never ran away from you. Never ran away from a player. Like, it was like he had enough spin on that backspin on that ball to actually, when it landed, if anything, he went back to the player instead of forward from the player. And I've never seen any other player do it, actually.
Brad?
So for me, he's the top.
It's difficult, isn't it? It's difficult. I mean, I've said Jimmy Greaves in the past. I feel absolutely privileged to have seen Kane and Son play at Tottenham, and the Kane Son. In fact, walking to the Burnley game, there were two blokes in front of me that had Spurs tops on. One had Kane, one had Son. I should have taken a photograph of it because I thought that's the end of an era, sort of thing. But Hoddle was brilliant. Gascoigne was brilliant. Okay, let's go for the best goalkeeper I've ever seen, and I don't think I'll ever see a goalkeeper as good as him, Pat Jennings. He was absolutely immense. He only made one mistake, I think, in his whole career, and that was playing for Arsenal against Tottenham. And if you wonder how well thought of he was, probably the only player I can think of that actually gone to Arsenal, and yet everyone still liked him. But yeah, he was an absolutely brilliant goalkeeper.
Yeah, Bob Wilson was a big fan of Pat Jennings as well, the Arsenal goalkeeper. Ian, a favourite player? We're nearly done, guys.
I'm going to go with again. I loved Ozzy, but in all my old man would always talk about some players from the old days, some of whom you heard of, and a lot you had. But I never, in all the years we went to football together, never saw him idolise a player the way he idolised Ozzy. I mean, seriously, he had a proper man crush on Ozzy. For the man's skill and talent, the way he hit the ball. And the other thing about it is that, again, it's one of those things when you look at the proliferation of foreign players in our game now, it was absolutely unheard of. I mean, we could actually do a reminiscing show about that day in July or August 1978, and the Daily Telegraph first scooped the world because they had a world exclusive that we'd signed on and Ricky from the Argentina World Cup squad, and it was absolutely unheard of, particularly for an English team, to be buying foreign players. And And to be picking 2 World Cup winners like that was absolutely sensational. As I say, there'll be young people. I mean, someone there, Sully, just looking at the chat, Dave, my favourite player, Dave Mackay. So you're possibly older than me, but if you are under, I've suddenly got sorry about struggle streaming to Facebook. Sorry about that. It's flashed up on my screen. If you're of an age, particularly if you are under 40, for example, the idea that the world wasn't full of, or the English League, wasn't full of foreign players, will be absolutely alien to you. Football did not start in 1992 with the with the advent of Sky. A foreign player came from Scotland and an overseas player came from Ireland. So that was football in those days.
Yeah. I'm going to pick someone you ain't heard of, so I'm going to cheat and pick 2. Because I'm picking Cliff Jones. He's still with us. I think he's about 90 years old now from the double era.
Still looks good as well for 90. I don't think he's 90, but he still looks good for his age.
he's still, I think he might be the 3rd hardest goal scorer we've got for a winger, or 4th. I'm not sure. I mean,
he used to score diving headers, didn't he? He used to score diving headers.
And he had pace. He had pace as well, right? But for more modern players, those who are a bit younger, because I imagine most of you have never heard of Cliff Jones. We've heard the name, you've never seen him play. Or there is old footage of these players, you can watch them. I'd pick Alan Gilzean. I just think he was a phenomenal player. It's such a football brain on him, right?
Adrian, when people say about Gareth Bale being the best player ever to play for Tottenham, I say he's not even the best Welsh left winger to play for Tottenham.
No, it's not. And we had Medwin as well. We had Medwin as well as Cliff Jones.
Yeah.
The Welsh produced a lot of good wingers, haven't they? Giggs and all that. They produced lots of good wingers. Right, this is the real fun part. No, chickening out on this, guys. Room 1882. Peter, who pisses you off in football industry that you like to put in room 1882? Can be a player, referee.
Levy.
Okay, fair enough. Oh, you've just won the hearts and minds of half the first fan base. Levy. Brad?
Well, I was going to say the same thing. If we haven't signed any more players after Monday, there's a lot of people that outside of football like in room 101.
Next one for Merson. Put them in the chat on this one just for fun.
I can't think anyone I've disliked more in football than Rudiger. I just thought he was an awful person. And I was at the game where he got Sonny sent off at Tottenham versus Chelsea, and then every time he got the ball, the crowd booed him. I was there; they booed him, and yet he complained it was monkey chance, and he got a police investigation into it, and which they never found any evidence. Don't forget the ground's got cameras everywhere.
Yeah,
but it was never
your phone at Spurs grading.
Yeah, and every time he always used to score against Tottenham, and every time he scored against Tottenham, he'd come up to the crowd and give sort of thing. Couldn't stand him. Absolutely couldn't stand him.
Ian, who are you putting in room 1882?
But while you got me at it, Clive fucking Thomas. Yeah. Although the one thing I'm giving for, because I had a really good view of that tackle by Hoddle on Hibbett, and it was a really clean tackle. And he must have been the only person in the ground who thought it was a penalty. But if it hadn't have been for that, and again, as for the younger people that won't remember this, the semi-final replay was at Highbury. Adrian has alluded to it with Ricky Villa's third goal in that game. But 3 sides of the ground, the West Stand, the East Side, and the North Bank, were 100% occupied by Spurs fans. I don't know if you were there, Brad. The clock end had Wolves supporters who were quiet. We played some of the most sublime, beautiful, glorious football that we that night, and we saw Garth Crooks scored 2 in the first half, and that Ricky pile driver with no backlift, just boink.
Yeah, wham.
For the last half an hour, it was, Wembley, because we knew we were going.
Well,
off.
I'll tell you a story about that game, Ian. I was in Australia at the time, and there used to be a radio program called Baz and Pilco, and the guy Pilco, Tony Pilkington, was a Tottenham supporter, even though he's an Australian guy, he's a Tottenham supporter, and they went into the news at whatever time it was, and they said, and in today's news, the most important news is that Tottenham have beaten Wolves 3-0 in the FA Cup replay to get to the final. And that was like on the headline news. And I was around my girlfriend's house at the time. Actually, I was around my girlfriend's house at the time when we won the UEFA Cup as well. But yeah, I went, yes, we're through.
You still your girlfriend?
Right. Actually, no, that was a lie. No, I was at home because that was 81. I didn't go out with him to 82. But yeah,
I could put the referee who gave the penalty against Sissoko in the Champions League final in there.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I'm gonna put Jason Cundy in there, right? Carefully you say it as well, his last name, right? Because that's more appropriate to what he is. I mean, the man's got no respect for other football teams apart from Chelsea. Always slagging everyone off. It's not just us. He was crap for us anyway. He scored that goal at Ipswich from the halfway line. Ever did. So I'm putting Jason Cundy. Right, everyone. We hate to leave you with 236 of you viewing us on various platforms, which is fantastic. We greatly appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, we're trying to get up to 1,500. If you can hit that red subscribe button in the bottom right-hand corner, we can't see it. You can. That would be great. I want to thank everyone in the chat. It's been a fun show, right?
See the people. See the room, 82 people on there.
Yeah, go on in. What do you want to say?
Remember, you have some amazing stories. The reason we've got amazing stories is we're all old farts.
Exactly that, right? Exactly that.
But Spurs Express, my phone's just been lighting up like a Christmas tree in the last few minutes. Adrian Rabiot has been offered to several clubs, but hashtag Tottenham are not in concrete negotiations for.
That's a new one.
That's from the rarely correct anymore.
His mum's his agent or something. She's a pain in the arse like he is as well.
We've got Spurs Express and Antoine Semenyo has been discussed internally in the last 24 hours at Tottenham, but it would be a difficult deal. I mean, I'm really sorry for reading that out.
Yeah, we can't do difficult deals now with 5 days to go.
I mean, here goes. I love the language. Tottenham have made calls to understand the situation of Lucas. He is a player appreciated by the club. I miss my vocation. And then there's one from Spurs. I saw that. Spurs are panicking, asking around everywhere in case they miss out on their main targets. There was something else as well, and I've lost it. It was Alan Shearer's Match of the Day Team of the Week that had Spence, Polinia, and Sarr and Sarr in it. And the manager of the week was Thomas Frank. So that was Alan. Three of the 11 plus the manager was. So he was quite impressed with Tottenham at the Etihad, as you'd have seen if you saw Match of the Day at the weekend.
Right. I shall now round off the show and repeat what I said earlier. I want to thank my guest, Peter Kagas from Down Under. Thank you, Peter, for coming on. You're always welcome on the show. You're a good friend of the show. Thank Brad, who's a regular friend of the show. Thank my co-host, Ian, as well. We are live Friday at 10 o'clock when Drew will be hosting. Ian will be live Sunday doing a post-match Bournemouth. And he's going to get greedy and do a show Monday with me as well on the transfer window at 5 o'clock because the window shuts at 7. 235 of you viewing us on various platforms, which is amazing. Thank you for sticking with us this time. We actually ran a bit longer than I thought, actually. We had a bit of fun at the end, which was good. So thank you for all your comments in the chat. Thank you for your questions. Yeah, and all I can do is just thank you all and thank God and God's mum and dad and who else we can thank, right? And we'll see you Friday.
God's mum and dad.
Yeah, and I'll play you out with this piece of soul music because
Good night,
I'm
everybody.
going to bring you music all the time. I'll play you out this, and I'll see you guys in the back room.
We are Tottenham till we die. We are Tottenham till we die. Spurs die, hearts, heart and soul. We are Tottenham till we die. We are Tottenham till we die. Spurs die, hearts, heart and soul. We are Tottenham till we die. We are Tottenham till we die. Spurs die, hearts, heart and soul. Lily white and navy blue. We are Tottenham till we die. We are Tottenham till we die. Spurs die, hearts, heart and soul. Lily white and navy blue. We are Tottenham till we die. We are Tottenham